we go. All right, so we're gonna come lying flat on our backs on our mats. And we're gonna take this moment to arrive. So lie flat on your mat, settle in. And just take this moment to arrive. Deep cleansing breath, inhale through the nose. And deep cleansing breath out through the mouth. So a couple cleansing breaths. I'm just gonna adjust this so it has a better view. Yeah, here we go. So a couple deep cleansing breaths, inhaling through the nose and then sighing out your mouth. Third time's a charm. Inhale and then exhale. And then go ahead and bend your knees and line the pinky toes up with the outer edges of your mat. And then let your knees fall in towards each other. And then any position with your arms works. You can have your arms simply by your sides. You can place one hand over your heart and the other one below your navel, right? You can have your arms in cactus. You can have your arms overhead. That's whatever feels comfortable to you. And close your eyes. So let's take a moment to kind of ground ourselves and connect with our breath and quiet our monkey minds. One more cycle of breath here. And then you're gonna go ahead and open your arms out to the side like wings and leave your pinky toes lined up with the outer edges of your mat so your legs are wide. And then go ahead and drop both knees to the left. So this is not about goal orientation. It's not about getting your knees down to the ground. It's about feeling your hips begin to open and the sides of the ribs begin to open and taking a deep breath into your whole being. And then come back to center and drop it over to the other side. And then come back to center and go ahead and hug your knees into your chest. So just take a couple breaths in this shape, with the knees drawn into your chest. And then go ahead and draw your nose up to your knees, squeezing your internal organs. Just give it a little tug. And then find happy baby. So come into happy baby. No right or wrong way to do this, right? Either grabbing a hold of the inner arches or the outer edges of your feet. And then go ahead and rock your hips from side to side. And extending the legs nice and wide for a couple breaths, grabbing a hold of the inner thighs, the calves, or the feet, and whichever one, doesn't matter. And let your shoulders release, dropping them back down to the floor. And coming back into happy baby for a breath or two, and think more about anchoring down through the tailbone than you do about drawing the knees down towards the chest. So it's more about anchoring down through the tailbone, getting the lower back to lie flat on the ground than it is drawing the knees down. And then draw the knees back into the chest and draw the right arm out to the side like a T and scoot both hips to the right and then drop both knees down to the left. Let's circle the right wrist one way. And feel free to use your prop here. And so if it feels good on your back, you can take your pillow and rest your knees on your pillow. You can take your pillow and drop between your thighs, right? And so think more in this pose about releasing the right shoulder down, widening through the collarbone. And when you do that, you're going to feel more of the stretch through the entire spine. And then maybe nod the head from side to side, releasing any residual tension in the neck and the shoulders. Take 2 more breaths in this shape. And 1 more breath here. And coming back to center, and take your prop if you used it and place it over to the other side. Draw your arms wide out to the side like a T, and scoot both hips to the left first, and then draw both knees down to the right. And then once again, focus more on releasing the left shoulder down to the ground than worrying about the knees coming down to the floor. And take your prop if you found that was comfortable and useful, and place it either between your knees or on the ground. And let's circle the left ankle wrist one way. And then let's circle the wrist the other way. And then nod the head from side to side. Letting go of all the tension in the jaw, the chest, the shoulders. And then rolling back to center, placing your prop off to the side and placing your hands on the tops of your knees. And let's make little circles, slow, gentle circles in one direction. And then switch the direction of those circles. And coming back to center, you're going to circle the knees wide and around and in. No right or wrong way to do this. Just close your eyes and breathe and feel your body moving, filling up with breath. And then switch the direction of those circles. And then draw the knees back into the chest just to kind of even things out. And then lower the legs and line the soles of your feet up hip distance. And let's thread the needle. So you're going to take the right ankle and place it on the top of the left knee, and then go ahead and reach through. And so you can either grab a hold of the back of the thigh or the top of the shin, right? There's no right or wrong way to go. It's whichever one is more accessible to you. And then let your head and neck and torso release. Let the collarbones widen so that you're broad through the chest, right? And then just circle the left ankle one way and circle it the other way. And then draw your nose up to your knee and squeeze those internal organs. Getting a little bit deeper stretch on the outside of the right hip. And then let that go. And let's switch sides. So the left ankle's going to come to the top of the right knee. You're going to flex the foot. And then reach around and grab a hold of, once again, whichever is more accessible to you. So there is no right or wrong way to go. Oh, that's my husband guarding. Oh, just don't mind him. So either the top of the shin or the back of the thigh, right? And then you're going to let the torso, the head, the neck release and widen through the collarbones. Let's circle the right ankle one way. And let's circle it the other way. I'm drawing the nose up to the knee, just squeezing those internal organs. And once again, feeling the stretch around the outer edge of the left hip. And then let that go. And then just extend both legs up towards the ceiling. And let's flex and point and flex and point. And then circle the ankles one direction and then the other direction. And then wind the legs into the splits and go ahead and flex and point. And then circle those ankles one way. And then circle them the other way. And pull the knees back into the chest and begin to rock yourself forward and back. If this hurts your back, feel free to skip it. And feel free to skip or modify anything and everything in this class, right? So breathing into the lower back, and as you rock back and forth, connect deeper with your breath. Let the mind go. And then come to all fours, hands and knees. And separate your knees hip distance and your palm shoulder distance. And take a moment to ground down through your palms. And spreading the fingers nice and wide. And feeling the earth beneath your fingers. Just getting really connected and grounded with the mat. And then begin to rock your hips from side to side. Feel free to close your eyes. Nothing you need to see here, right? I will guide you through the instruction. There is no right or wrong way to go. It's about feeling and moving and breathing. So deep, full belly breaths. Inhaling through your nose and then letting it go through your mouth. And then begin to circle organic movements in one direction, coming round and forward and down and round, or any kind of organic movement that's calling out to you, waking up the ribs, the spine, right? Bringing that intelligence and awareness back to the subtle movements. And then coming back to center and pausing for a moment, getting everything to be still for a beat. And then switching the direction of those circles. Organic movements to start, circular to begin, and then moving in whatever direction is calling out to you. Noticing the rhythm of your breath. Noticing the outer edges of your hips. Noticing the soles of your feet opening and releasing. Noticing your mind quieting a little bit as you draw your awareness to the process of your breath. And then come back to center and come all the way down to your belly. And then bring your arms in Sphinx pose. So line up your elbows underneath your shoulders. And if it feels comfortable in your torso and your wrists, you're gonna have them parallel. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can clasp your hands together. So there's no right or wrong way to go, right? And then you're going to draw the navel, the belly, and pull it up for a breath, and then exhale, release. So this is lower back therapy 101, L4, L5. Inhale, pull up and squeeze, and exhale, release. 2 more times, inhaling, drawing the navel in, rounding through the spine, and exhale, releasing, letting gravity bring you back down to the floor. Last time like this, inhale, navel draws in, hips elevate, exhale, release. And then bend the knees, and we're gonna windshield wiper, like in and out the feet and the shins. Fast or slow, doesn't matter. And then come to stillness, and then release your torso down towards the floor. And you can either parallel your arms and rest your forehead on the tops of your palms, or you can extend your arms out in front of you, whatever feels right to you. And then draw both feet to the left. And then swivel over to the right. And again, to the left. And then to the right. And come back to center and extend both legs behind you. And find your way back into Sphinx pose. So line the elbows underneath the shoulders again. And draw the navel in to support your lower back. And bend the right knee. And reach around and grab a hold of the foot. And here's where your strap, your towel, your scarf, whatever prop you're using might be helpful. If you can't reach the foot, or even if you can reach the foot, you may just want to use a prop anyway. right? And you're just gonna kind of, don't force, don't pull, don't tug. You're gonna let gravity in your breath draw the heel down towards the hip. And then if you're not using the strap, if you're not using the towel, the strap, or the scarf, it'll look something like this. 3 breaths here, breathing into the back of the thigh, the top of the hip, deep bottom pit of the abdomen. And then you're gonna reverse the direction. So you're gonna flex the foot and push the foot away from you. And so you're gonna pull the right elbow and arm towards you and resist with the leg. So there's this dynamic thing happening, this push and this pull, the relationship between the foot pushing, pulling away from you, and the arm and the hand pulling it back towards you. I'm gonna let that go. You take a moment and just kind of swivel the hips from side to side. And then switch sides. Bend the left knee. And if, once again, your prop was helpful, right? You can start with your prop. And so pull the foot in towards you, towards the hip. So if you have some kind of prop, you can make a little loop or a big loop. Right, it'll look like this. If you don't need the strap or the loop or the towel, whatever prop you're using, you'll grab a hold of the foot. And just take a couple deep belly breaths, releasing any gripping sensation you might have in the glute and the hip. So you want the hip flexor, the top of the left hip, to open. And then flex the left foot. And here's where we play with the relationship, right? So we pull the foot away, and we push the foot away, and we pull the hand in towards the shoulders. So there's this connection between pushing and pulling taking place. There's a dynamic stretch. And then let that go. And just release. Wiggle the hips from side to side. And then clasp the hands together behind the back and have the palms facing up, and then take the elbows and let them be heavy. So you're broadening through the upper back, it's rounding and softening. And breathe here. Let the tops of the feet be heavy. Let the thighs go. So there's no muscular effort required here. It's just a stretching of the shoulders and the upper back. And then pull the elbows, draw the elbows in towards each other. And take a couple breaths in this shape. And then release. Draw the elbows down towards the floor. And then again, pull the elbows in towards each other. And then release the arms and reach back towards the toes. And then lift the torso just about an inch. Keep your gaze down and forward so that your head and neck are in line with the spine. You're not cranking the head. And you're working the back muscles. And then for the last couple breaths, lift the feet up off the floor. So take a couple breaths getting long. It's not about height as much as it is about length here. Let the head and neck be very soft, and so don't crank it up, but let the gaze be down and the head be neutral in line with the spine, and then reach the fingers and the toes and extend, and then let it go. And take your left palm and reach it back towards your heart, towards your spine, with the palm facing out. And then you're gonna roll. Oh, I made a mistake. Let that go, forget about that. You're gonna come, bring your palms underneath your shoulders, and you're gonna lift your torso up and find child's pose. And so come into a wide kneed child's pose and let your torso rest through your tops of your thighs. Let your head and neck go. Let your elbows be soft. So this is not an active child's pose, but a restorative resting one. Then crawl your torso up and come to a seated position. Grab your pillow or your block or whatever prop you have to elevate your hips. And come seated. Whew. And take a moment to find the plumb line. So you're going to rock your weight forward and then you're going to shift your weight back. So you're going to rock your weight forward, kind of like a cat and cow through the gates of your arms, and then rock your weight back. Scoop your navel, hollow it out, C curve. Inhale, arch, pull the heart and the chest forward, and exhale, C curve. And then come back to center, and we're going to churn. We're going to come in one direction, just kind of churning. No right or wrong way to move, right? So this is just about finding a little separation between the rib cage, releasing the shoulders, breathing deeply. And then come back to center and pause for just a moment. And then reverse the circles, turning in the opposite direction. Breathing into the deep pit of the abdomen, deep down into the belly. Deep cleansing breaths. Deep, full cleansing breaths. One more cycle, and coming back to center and pausing for a moment. And then extend the arms out. So take the shoulder blades and the tops of the shoulders and squeeze, pinch them in towards the ears, and then let it go. And broaden through the collarbones and stretch the fingertips from one end of the room to the other. And notice if there's a back bend happening here. And take the back bend out by drawing the front floating in, ribs in and back. So the whole body weights, the front of the body is going to shift to the back body. And notice if that changed the relationship of the shoulders at all. So drop them further down. And if you need to bend your elbows to find a little more greater release in the shoulders and the nape of the neck, feel free to do that. They don't have to be rigid, and they can be soft. And then turn the palms up and take the pinky fingers and rotate them as far forward as you possibly can. And then go ahead and arch and look up for a breath. And then reverse that and look down. And then here we go, reverse the pinky fingers up and look, and then reverse, reach them down. One more set like this. Inhale, arching through the heart. Exhale, curling, looking down. And coming back to center, turning the palms up and reaching the arms all the way overhead, shoulder distance, and then grab a hold of the left elbow. So bend the right, grabbing a hold of the left elbow, right? And then once again, take the back bend out of the pose. So the front floating ribs are gonna come in, the navel is gonna draw in, and then reach up through the back of the ribs and take the right elbow and open it towards the back of the room. Let's open that shoulder blade. And then release and switch sides. And start slow, like building the pose by lowering lowering the right shoulder. So notice that, see how that right shoulder wants to creep up towards the ear. You want to let that shoulder sink right back down in the socket. And then take the back bend out of the pose by drawing the front ribs in. The navel goes in and up, and the back of the body reaches. And then take the left elbow and open it to the back of the room. Oh, I can feel that along the left side of my neck. And then release that. And then go ahead and clasp your hands together behind your head. And let's arch and draw the elbows nice and wide. And then let's reverse and curl and draw the head and neck. A little bit of a pull on the back of the head and neck. Inhale, arch and widen. Exhale, curl. 2 more breaths with the cycle of your breath. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. 1 more time like that. Inhale draws you up. And now you're going to twist to the right. So notice if the rib cage is twisting or if the head and neck are cranking. So let the head and neck come back in line and let the whole twist happen from the upper rib cage. Oh. And then release the arms, draw them out to the side like a T and twist just a little bit deeper. And then lower the right arm behind you and the left hand to the top of the right knee. And just pause here. Take a couple breaths. And when you inhale, this next time, you're going to do nothing. Pause, inhale, and pause. And on your exhale, when you're empty, you're going to twist a little bit deeper. Let's do that again. Inhale and pause. At the top of the inhale, when you're empty, exhale and twist a little bit deeper. And then come back to center and clasp the hands together behind the head again. And now let's twist to the left. And so notice if the head and neck are doing all the twisting or if the torso itself is doing the twisting. 1 more breath. Let the left elbow open back and the right elbow pull forward a little bit. And then release the arms, open them up wide out to the side like a T and twist a little bit deeper. So let the left collarbone release and widen towards the back of the room a little more as you reach more to the right arm and the right fingertips. And then just place the left hand behind you and the right hand to the outside of the left knee. And take a couple breaths here. Don't force, don't pull, don't tug. Just let gravity and your breath do all the work here. And now we're going to manipulate the pose a little bit. So as you inhale, pause and do nothing. And then as you exhale, twist a little bit deeper. 2 more times. Inhale and pause. Exhale as you empty, get a little bit more room to twist a little deeper. 1 more cycle like that. Inhale, exhale, twist. Beautiful. And then come back to center. Let's switch the cross of our legs to the awkward way. And notice if that feels a little different, any different sensation in your hips when you do that. And then inhale, arms reach. And then on exhale, you're just going to fold forward. So let the head and neck go. Don't worry if the head doesn't hit the floor. There's where your prop also can come in handy if you have a book or a pillow or something that's solid, right? You can let your forehead rest on it or not, or you could just have your head suspended if it doesn't hit the floor. Two more breaths in a forward fold. And crawl yourself back up. And grab your prop, your towel, your strap, your whatever you have handy. Scarf. and hold your prop, whatever you have in your right hand, right? And then just kind of reach it behind you and let the hand go, right? Let the elbow. So maybe I'll come to the side here so you can see a little bit better about what's happening. Yep. So this right elbow, you want to internally rotate it, right? So don't let it open out to the side. Internally rotate that elbow. Just work on this part for now. Just the internal rotation of the elbow and the tricep, right? And then take your left hand and bring it behind you and grab a hold of your prop. It doesn't matter where it is, right? So for me, you can see right now, I'm kind of tight, right? So what I want you to focus more on rather than the location of where your hands are is the internal rotation of the right elbow as it reaches up towards the ceiling. And take a couple breaths now in a little bit of a back bend. So you're gonna lean your head back in towards your palm, towards the strap, and open up your chest and look up, gaze up towards the ceiling. Take a couple breaths here. Take a big breath in, and on your exhalation, you're just gonna fold forward. Breathe here. One more breath. And then come back up. Release your prop, your strap, right, and kind of unwind. So like zip, zip like a tick-tock, right? And then let that go. And let's do the other side. So grab your prop in your left hand and let it come behind you. So don't think too much about it, right? Just kind of breathe, move, and enjoy the moment. Like here we are together doing yoga. So grateful that you're here with me and allowing me this opportunity to instruct you, to share in the moment. And so focus more about the internal rotation of that left shoulder and arm, upper arm. So that left elbow is going to internally rotate, right? And then it's going to reach up. So that's the first step. Just opening and wrapping around this shoulder. And then take the right arm and reach it behind you and grab a hold of the strap. So it doesn't matter even if you're down here. This is good work. Right? It doesn't really matter where you grab a hold of the strap. And then observe if the left shoulder wants to wing out, or you're going to internally rotate. And let's take that back bend for a couple breaths. So lean the head back into the strap and open up the chest and look up towards the ceiling and take a couple deep breaths into the heart. Release any gripping sensation in the hips and the thighs. And take one more deep belly breath in. And on your exhalation, you're going to fold forward. Just release, let it go. And breathe into the shoulders. One more deep belly breath here. And then come up. Release your prop and kind of unwind. So you're like, whoop, like draw this thread, this straight line first. And like tick-tock, bring the arms out to the side. And then let that go. So come off your prop, stand up for a moment. We're gonna do one more shoulder flossing exercise because I am so tight today in my shoulders. It's not even funny. So you're gonna come to a wide stance, right? And then grab a hold of your, whatever you've got, your towel, your scarf or strap, right? And then you're gonna reach it up and ground down through your feet. So what does that mean? Press the soles of your feet down to energize your legs. right? Draw the navel in and bring the front body a little bit to the back body so that you have a nice sturdy support here, right? And then take the shoulders, because you want to just dislocate, like draw them up towards the ears and then plug them back down. And then this time we're gonna take the shoulders and then plug them back down and bend the arms a little bit to do that. And notice if there's a back bend that was created from this, there's a little back bend, right? You wanna take the back bend out of the pose, right? So it's whoop, the ribs come in, it's a hip rib connection, and then you engage the legs by pressing the feet down. And now just go up, go up, go up. And then widen the distance of the strap, and let's flash the shoulders. Let's like come back right where that sticky point is, breathe, and then let the strap come back, whatever you're holding on to. And let's just go forward and back a couple times, just kind of flossing those shoulders. And any distance that feels good, but don't be so narrow that you like, oh, that hurts. I want this to feel good, right? And breathe into it. Last time, flushing and flossing those shoulders. And this next time, I want you to keep the strap behind you. And you're gonna narrow the width of the strap a little bit, right? And then you're gonna bend the knees and fold forward and then reach the arms overhead. Oh, yeah. Let the head and neck be heavy. And then bend the knees really deep, come into that deep squat where the hips are the same height as the knees, if it feels okay with you. And then reach the strap overhead. And then you're gonna bring both hands to one side, opening up one shoulder and gazing over that shoulder. And then come back to center and then drop it to the other side, gazing over the other shoulder. Oh, feels so good. And then come back to center. And if you want to work with straight legs for a breath or two, feel free to go there. But if it feels better on your backs, keep the knees bent. And then bend the knees and roll up the spine slowly. Nice work. And let go of your strap and grab your tennis ball. So now we do a little tennis ball love. Does everybody have some kind of little ball toy they can play with? Okay, we'll start since we're standing. Let's start with the feet. Oh, yeah. And so just roll the ball around the foot and start it like the arch at right where the arch and the heel are. Oh, that really, it hurts so good. And then just kind of roll it around the edge of the outer edge of the foot, like right around the rim. And then the inner edge of the foot. Oh, man. And then the heel. And then come to the balls of the toes and give that a little love. Kind of knead it back and forth, a little kneading. And then wherever you feel it the most, you're going to pause there for a breath or two. And then let's switch sides. And so starting at right where the heel pocket is, you know, like where the arch and the heel, oh man, that's talking to me. And then move it around to the back of the heel and around the outer edge of the left foot, like the knife blade of the foot, right along the pinky toe side of the foot, up and down, back and forth. And now the inner arch and the big toe side of the foot. And then the ball, the heel, just kind of dig that heel into it. And then the balls of the toes, give that a little love. And then find the spot where you have the greatest amount of sensation. Like for me, it's right where that arch is. It's like, oh, right there. And then let's come down to the floor. So I like to start at the nape of my neck. And so I put that ball right in the nape of my neck, right? Let everything else go. So let the lower body release. There's no effort here. This is effortless effort. This is breathing into the ball and just noticing where this sensation arises and then letting it go. So you are in the privacy of your own home. Feel free to sigh, feel free to release. And just kind of rock the head from side to side and up and down, right in the nape of the neck. And let that ball release all that tension that's stored in that spot. And then you're gonna incrementally work your way down the spine. So if you have one ball, which is probably most of you, you're gonna start on one side of the spine. So not on the actual vertebra of the spine, but just on the outer edge of the spine, right? And just work your way down the spine to the tailbone, one vertebra at a time. Softening into it. So the work here is not to be forceful, but the work is to soften into the pose, like soften into the ball, let the breath, the mind's eye and the breath take you to that spot where the ball is and release any tension that's gripping and surrounding the surface of the ball. Working your way down the spine. Take your time. There's no hurry here. Oh, right on that scapula and the wing. Working your way down the spine. And just take a couple breaths in each spot. Don't be in a hurry. And notice that maybe around the 4th or 5th cycle of breath, the body begins to relax. It softens around the edges. And I forgot to mention this. If it feels better to have your knees bent, right, feel free to do that. Any modification that works for you, I want you, encourage you to take. When you find yourself working down one side and you've gone to the tailbone, you're going to take the ball and place it right on the tailbone and kind of rock from side to side. And then when you're ready, you're going to go down the other side. And then a couple breaths at each vertebra. Don't forget to breathe. And I know it's so easy to allow your mind to wander and to get distracted when you're at home, right? But we are all here together. We're practicing together virtually, supporting each other, right? Encouraging us to find that moment of inner peace, of releasing any anxiety or uncertainty of the future, any fears that come up, just letting that go. Right? Whatever's on your mental plate, whatever comes up in your practice, whatever distracts your mind and seems like it's more important to focus on, give yourself permission to just let it go. And then when you get to your tailbone on the other side, you're going to take a couple minutes wagging back and forth. And then before we end the tennis ball session, I want you to take your tennis ball and place it right on your piriformis, which is right in the middle of your butt cheek, right? And then I want you to press some pressure on that spot, allowing the piriformis muscle to release. If you ever have sciatica, right, this is the perfect thing to do. And then switch sides, take it to the other side. And then let that go and take your props, your little balls, and place it off to the side. And let's take a mini Shavasana. We're not quite there yet, but just kind of take a break. Take a deep cleansing breath through your nose, and then let it out your mouth. Filling up your whole body with breath. And then grab your strap or your towel or your robe tie or whatever you're using and place it around the arch of the left foot and then straighten the leg. And feel free to keep the opposite leg, the right foot, bent or straight, whichever one feels better on your lower back. You can explore and experiment. And just take a couple breaths here, letting that SI joint, that hip sink back down in the pelvis. And then you're going to externally rotate, so open that leg to the left. And if that right hip tends to roll with it, you've gone too far. So make sure to anchor down through the right hip and the right sitting bone. So I know there's a tendency, it feels good to kind of let that hip open. But if that leg, see how my leg starts to lift and the hip's coming up, you've gone a little too far. And then come back to center and switch hands and bring the left arm out to the side like a team. We're going to find the twist. Right? So you can bend the bottom knee and twist, or you can straighten the leg. Doesn't matter. And once again, I want you to concentrate more on releasing the left shoulder back down towards the floor, like opening through the collarbone and keeping the head and neck in line with the spine. So my gaze is straight up towards the ceiling. If I turn to face that left palm, it tends to kind of crank my neck. Doesn't feel too good. Sorry, I thought I turned that off. Stay there and just breathe. And come back to center and release the strap and take your palm into the inner arch of the left foot. So half happy baby. And once again, be more mindful and interested in anchoring down through the left hip. And then draw the knee back into the chest. And let's circle the ankle one way. Kind of like the way we started. And then let's circle the knee and the hip joint one way. And then release, switch sides. Grab a hold of your prop again and place it into the arch of the right foot. And then extend the right leg. And take a couple breaths in this shape. There's nowhere you need to go. This is your time, your gift for you right now to just kind of be in the moment. Breathing and stretching and opening up your body. And then externally rotate, we're going to open that right leg out. Once again, if that left hip migrates up off the floor, you've gone a little too far. So keep anchoring that right sitting bone and the left sitting bone, and the left leg down towards the floor. And then come up to center, switch hands. Right arm's gonna come out to the side like a T. Feel free to bend the left knee, the bottom leg, as you make the transition into the twist. And then once again, see, if I am focused more on the right leg, right, then I don't get so much of this upper body twist. But if you focus more on the right shoulder coming back down, wrapping back down to the floor, you get a deeper twist. Two more breaths. Last breath. And then you're gonna come back to center and release the strap, bend the knee, grab a hold of the inner arch, so it's this happy baby business. And draw the knee back into the chest and circle the ankle. And then switch the direction. And circle the knee and the hip one way, and then the other way. Let's find happy baby one more time. I'm going deeper if you like by extending the legs wide, but not necessary. Feel free to stay in happy baby. And then drawing the knees into the chest and lowering the feet back down to the floor. So here's where you get to choose the last finishing pose. If you are looking for an inversion, right, you can do shoulder stand. If you're looking for something more restorative, you can do pigeon pose. You can rock yourself up and find pigeon, right? Or bridge pose, or if there's some other finishing pose that's calling out to you that we didn't do, feel free to spend the last 3 minutes doing that. Right, so I'm going to do an inversion. I'm going to do shoulder stand. Last minute. And then if you haven't switched sides yet and you're doing pigeon pose, please switch sides now. If you're in shoulder stand or inversion and you want to come to plow pose, and then plow pose, rolling down one vertebra at a time. If you're in pigeon, you're gonna find yourself on your back. And draw your knees into your chest and take a couple breaths in this finishing pose. And then release. And let's take the last couple minutes in Shavasana. So if you want to take your pillow and you can use it behind your head, or you can take your pillow and place it underneath your knees, or if you have a roller, a blankie. Let's take a couple cleansing breaths before we settle in. So inhale through the nose, an audible sigh out the mouth. And one more time like that, inhaling through the nose. And then sigh out your mouth. And just take a couple moments here, surrendering, letting go of all muscular effort, allowing the body to melt and release. And slowly drawing your awareness back into your body, making small movements with your fingers and your toes. And reaching your arms overhead for full body stretch. Stretching from fingertip to tippy toe. And then draw your knees into your chest. Don't be in a hurry. This is really the best, the sweetest part of the practice, so savor it. And then rock yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Take your pillow, your prop to elevate your hips and come to a seated position. And close your eyes. We take the last minute or two to meditate, to breathe together, to calm our central nervous system, to allow ourselves to come back into our body, to the here and now, in the present moment. And if you need a mantra to calm your mind, when you inhale, you say so. And when you exhale, you think to yourself, hum. And so you repeat this mantra. When you inhale, you say so. And when you exhale, you say to yourself, hum. And you follow the rhythm of your breath as you repeat the mantra. If you need a mantra to focus the mind, relax your jaw and the palate of your tongue. Let your eyelids be soft. Let your sitting bones and hip bones be heavy. Let your thighs be heavy. Let your elbows sink. But lift up through the back plate of the skull, through the back of the body, so you're sitting nice and tall. And there's a degree of effortless effort here. So the spine is lifting, the sitting bones are grounding, the elbows are releasing, the collarbones are widening, the shoulders are releasing, and the breath is deep and full and smooth. See if you can part your lips and your teeth a little bit, allowing the jaw to be heavy. Last 3 cycles of breath. Inhaling, thinking so. Exhaling, thinking hum. Repeating the mantra to yourself as you breathe in, so. And breathing out, hum. One more cycle. So. Hum. Bring our hands together at our hearts and Sealing our practice as we bow our heads in deep gratitude. May there be peace in our hearts. May there be peace in our homes. May there be peace in the world. Namaste.